Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got another extreme clean with me video. We're cleaning our kitchen and our dining room area, getting it scrubbed up from the top all the way down to the bottom. So I've got lots of good motivation for you if you're needing that extra nudge to do that deep cleaning before the holidays hit. Thanks so much guys for stopping by and watching this video. Let's begin cleaning. Alright, so here I talked about this in my last video, but here I have a piece of paper that I printed out some of the things we're going to be doing today. We have this plastic clear cover that we just slip our paper into, and then it acts like a dry erase board and we can use it over and over. Alright, so first things first, starting from the top, I'm using this broom to get all of the spider webs off of the ceiling and in the corners of the room, and I'm using the ladder to reach up here to get all of these spider webs off. Also, the spider webs sometimes get on the lights, so I use the broom to knock those down as well. First thing off the list, and I needed to take a minute and change this light bulb real quick. Also, this is one of those things that's not on the list but needed to be done, is like changing the light bulb. And also this ceiling fan, somehow it got missed when we were making this list. We didn't add the ceiling fan, so I needed to do that and clean that up real quick. So I'm using this pillowcase that I showed you before. I'm using a pillowcase to pull all of the dust off, so the dust is not falling off onto the table below us, but the pillowcase is actually catching everything. So I'm using the Swiffer to kind of pick up any loose dust, and then I'm using a wet rag to clean all the blades, and then I'll follow through with a dry rag to make sure that it's all finished. Okay, so now here comes the biggest project of the whole day, which was cleaning the tops of our cabinets. I had to use a ladder because our cabinets are pretty tall. So I'm pulling everything off of the cabinets, and my mom so graciously helped me and cleaned everything as I pulled it off, and I just took care of the tops of these cabinets. So I brought in our vacuum because let me tell you, the tops of the cabinets were completely dusty. Oh my goodness, they were so terrible. And the crazy thing is that we have already cleaned them once this year. And honestly, this is a project that only needs to be done once a year, you would think, but evidently where we're at, the dust just likes to accumulate up there. So we took some time and cleaned that up, and it looked a lot better. This is one of those things that I know that when you have guests come over, they're not going to be looking above your kitchen cabinets. Well, I hope they're not going to be looking above your kitchen cabinets. But it's one of those things that needs to be done. Yeah, you can't see the dust and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, but it needs to be done. It is an extreme clean, and that's why we're picking up and doing all of these jobs that need to be done at least once or twice a year. So this is why we call it more of an extreme clean. And it was pretty time consuming to do the tops of these cabinets because, you know, I was working on a ladder and I had to move the vacuum around, and it is pretty time consuming. But I'm really glad that we took the time to do it. It just felt a lot cleaner in there. So this area up here was the hardest to clean. I couldn't reach it very well. I was kind of at a weird angle with it, so I didn't get my camera up there to film it. But I just hit it as much as I could with the vacuum to get as much dust as possible. And then the crown molding had started on this side of the kitchen, so I'm just trying to wipe that down and get all the dust off. Okay, so funny story, I started vacuuming this cabinet right above our refrigerator, and our vacuum started, I guess it overheated and it just shut off and it would not run. And I figured that I must have broken the vacuum, you know, sucked up too much dust, and I just thought it was finished. So my mom immediately got on the phone with Dyson and tried, to figure out what was going on. And after she finished her long phone call of waiting to finally get someone to talk to, she started to try the vacuum one more time, and it immediately fired up and had no more problems. So I guess it just needed a break. So now I'm just wiping down the outside of all of our cabinets above the countertops, and then towards the end of this video I'm going to go through and wipe down the ones that are below the countertops, but I just wanted to make sure and get the top ones first, and then when I'm done cleaning the counter I'll save that for the end. Alright, more stuff getting crossed off of the list. I'm cleaning our hanging lights here in our kitchen. Those needed to be wiped down. This was not actually on the list, but it needed to be done, so I went ahead and just took the time to do that. Alright, so now I'm working on cleaning these blinds. If you remember from my last video, the extreme clean with me in our living room area, we had a set of blinds just like this, and it was seriously such a time-consuming project, but I knew that when we cleaned these blinds in the kitchen, I wanted to clean them the exact same way as our living room blinds. So we took out every single slat, and my mom helped me with this. She made it go by a lot quicker because I cleaned the window itself as she started cleaning every single slat. So I'm just wiping down the framework of the blinds, making sure that's nice and clean, and then I'm going to go through and just wipe down every inch of this window. So I went ahead and wiped down the window first before I used glass cleaner, and I just thought it would collect most of the dirt, and then I would just do a quick little wipe down with the glass cleaner. So as you can see, this is how we cleaned each slat. So we would wipe it down on one side, and then I would dry it off immediately after that. So moving on to the next little window. Now remember, we have 3 sets of windows in the kitchen, and we have 1 huge set of blinds in the dining room. So this was a very time-consuming process. So next time I do an extreme clean with me, I probably won't take every single slat out, because I really think that this job needs to be done twice or once a year, depending on how bad it gets. So I'm putting the slats back in, and I really sped up this clip for you guys because I didn't want you to get too bored with watching me put these slats in. Now I'm moving on to the window in our dining room, taking each slat out, and these are extra long slats, like they are extremely long. So they were a little bit more of a project to take out and put back in, just because the space that I was working with and them being extremely long. So same thing, my mom's helping me out cleaning each slat as I get all of the framework of the blinds cleaned up, and then the actual window itself, wiping everything down, getting all of the dust, the spider webs, the spiders, the flies, anything that was in here, getting that cleaned up. And of course, going to use our Dyson vacuum to get the bugs out of the windowsill. And now just some glass cleaner to make these windows shine. So we did the same process. We wiped down the blind slat, and then we went through with a dry rag and made sure it was completely dry, and then went back and put every single slat back in. All right, crossing stuff off of my list. I'm moving on in our dining room. I needed to dust our hutch and these pictures that we have in here. This wasn't on the list either, but it definitely needed to be done. So I just thought I would do that really quick before I move on to things that are closer to the floor. I always like to work from the top to the bottom of a room, so trying to keep that in mind as I go. I am cleaning our chairs in our dining room now, one by one, before I move them out, and then we're gonna get this floor ready to be vacuumed and mopped. The cushions on these chairs are extremely dirty. Like, we've had this set since we moved into this house, and it is time for a deep clean on these chair cushions. We're trying to figure out if we're gonna just totally reupholster them or just try and get them clean. So I'll keep you guys updated on that for sure. Okay, moving on to the baseboards. We did all the baseboards in the kitchen and the dining room, and we're using a magic eraser to get the scuffs off. Now, if you're looking and you see that there are some marks still after I'm finished, that is most likely just where we need to touch up paint. Okay, moving on, I had clean out fridge, and honestly, I was kind of doing more of a speed clean here. I didn't take too long to clean out the fridge. I just thought I would leave that for another time. So here I'm using the Wayman's, I think that's how you say it, the Wayman's stainless steel cleaner and polish spray. We've had this under our sink in our storage for a long time now, and we honestly haven't used it very much, so I just thought I'd give it a try today. And as you see, as I start rubbing it on there, it's like a thick, milky texture. And at first I was like, what in the world did I just do? But it honestly made it look so good afterwards, like no smudges, no fingerprints after I was done. So I used it on our fridge and also our dishwasher because those are both stainless steel, and it made it look amazing. Also on the list, it says to organize pantry, and my mom had recently done this, so we just did a quick straightening up of it, made sure everything was in order, and we called it good. Alright, so next on the list was to wipe down the microwave and the oven and the stove top. So I'm just doing a quick little wipe down of the microwave, and we washed the glass plate that is inside the microwave. We cleaned that, and also the plastic plate cover that goes in the microwave, we also were washing that. Moving on to the stovetop, I didn't do too deep of a clean on the stovetop. I know before I've showed you that I've gotten Barkeeper's Friend and put that on top and let it sit, but I was just doing a quick wipe down of this because I knew we would probably be making dinner pretty soon, and if I wanted to do more of a deeper clean, I could do that later in the evening. Alright, so the last thing on my list is to sweep and mop. So before I vacuumed and mopped here in the dining room, I just thought I would clean up the table if there was any dust from cleaning the blinds or dusting the hutch. So I moved the table to one side and I'm vacuuming this rug, and then I'm gonna flip this rug over and vacuum underneath it. It was pretty crazy to me. You can't see it too well here in the video, but you could see it in person a little bit better. But there was so much dust underneath this rug, and you would think that the rug really would, keep that from getting under there, but I think that from the years it's like kind of sifted through the rug almost. I don't know if that even makes sense or is feasible, but that's what it seemed like. So there was lots of dust under the rug, so I'm glad that we took the time to move that. So here I'm using our O-Cedar Spin Mop. Again, I absolutely love our O-Cedar Spin Mop. It's awesome. We just added some Lysol concentrate to some water and it smelled amazing. I did use our cordless vacuum here. It was just whatever vacuum was closest to me, I grabbed it and used it real quick. So now I'm just cleaning off and wiping down the kitchen countertops. And what is a clean kitchen without lighting a candle, right? What is any clean room without lighting a candle? That's kind of how I feel these days. So like I said, I was going to go back and clean these kitchen cabinets underneath the countertops, and I'm doing that here just real quick, wiping them down and getting all the dust and dirt off. So these chairs that we have at our bar stools get pretty dusty, and so I was just doing a quick little dusting of them. We wipe them down pretty often just because they're more towards the living room. So they get wiped down pretty often because people can see them a lot, so we try to keep an eye on that and clean them if they need to be cleaned. So of course our stainless steel trash can needed to be cleaned, so I just did a quick little wipe down on that. I didn't take time to do the stainless steel cleaner on it. I wasn't too worried about how shiny the trash can was looking right at the moment. So I went ahead and vacuumed over these rugs and then mopped them so they could be drying while I did the floors. So the cleaner that we used in our spin mop bucket today is a Lysol multi-surface concentrate that we just added with some water, and it worked pretty good. It got the job done and it smelled wonderful. So I moved to the other side, and this is where our kitchen and our living room kind of mix together. So I went ahead and mopped all the way through into our living room where the fireplace is at. And then of course, as soon as this was done drying, I went ahead and put the rugs back and I crossed everything off of my list, and my list was completely done. We got this brand new candle at Aldi. We had heard from some other YouTubers that we like that they had candles at Aldi, so we went and checked that out, and I believe we got this candle for about $5.99. So here's the finished product of what our kitchen and dining room looked like after we had finished cleaning it. Now this was a very long and tedious extreme clean with me, mostly because cleaning the top of the cabinets out was also a very long job. So if we wouldn't have done these things, it probably would have taken a little bit less time, but needed to be done. And that's why we have an extreme clean, because things like that need to be done. So we're staying on top of those things. Well guys, this is the end of this extreme clean with me. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me all the way to the end, and I hope you feel motivated to do some extreme cleaning. Please comment down below and let me know. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.